Welcome to video 1.3 of Scratch. Now you've got in the habit of making backdrops and sprites. We're going to control one, we're going to add a script to a sprite, and it's going to do this. It's a little bear walking around. When I press the left and right arrow keys, it moves side by side sideways on the screen. And also when I press space, it says roar. So that's the first step in controlling a game. So we're going to learn about something called an event, and we're going to learn about something called a script. These are the two key terms for this video. So there you have it. Event, something the user does in the game. And a script, a sequence of instructions. They're carried out in the order they appear. And what we will see is that a script follows an event. So an event triggers a script. That's essentially what's going on there. So back to my little chap. I'm going to make him, and I'm going to make the background now. I'm going to show you how to do this in an empty example Scratch project. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change my backdrop. You've already seen how to do this, so let's make quick work of it. I'm going to choose one here. I'm going to go for the outdoors, and I'm going to go for this really beautiful looking forest. But the cat's not worthy to be in here. No, he is. But we're going to use a bear instead, and you'll see why in a minute. So I'm going to add a sprite, and I'm going to click on the magnifying glass, and I'm going to go for bear walking. And as you can see, the bear walking needs to change size. There are going to be a few adjustments I need to tweak to it, and I'm going to go through the process of making some mistakes so you can see why we need to do things the way we do them. So I'm going to just click on size, and I'm going to change the bear to 60. Yeah, that's fine. And we're going to call the bear Justin. Why? Because he looks like a Justin. There we go. So the very first thing we can do is we can choose an event, like that keyword I just showed you on the screen a minute ago, events, and we're going to go for when space key pressed. Just to clear some things with you, we're going to use the when green flag clicked usually to start games, like a start button on a console. But for today, we're just going to learn about this event here. So we're going to click on when space key pressed, and we're going to go for move 10 steps. So that is a one block sequence, a one block script. So that would be the script that joins with the event. The event starts the script, obviously. I'm going to press space now. Justin just slides along the screen. And you might notice as well, he doesn't really do much. I have to keep grabbing him with my mouse and moving him back. So that's not really useful. Let's change it to right arrow. And when I use the right arrow now, I can move him. But, you know, obviously I've not added an instruction for going back to the other side of the screen, this side of the screen on the left. So I need to do when left arrow key press. So let's right click on that and duplicate. So I can actually just steal the same script really quickly. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change right arrow key to left arrow key. Let's see what this does. Still goes right. Okay, that's because he's pointing in this direction, 90 degrees. If you click on direction there, he's pointing 90 degrees, which is right in Scratch. So we need to add a direction block to get him to change direction. So let's do it. And you're going to see me make a colossal mistake now. So point in direction 90 for the right arrow, and obviously point in direction not 90 for the left arrow. We're going to swap, we're going to go this way, which is minus 90. Right, so pressing the right arrow key now, you can see it flashes when I do that. So that script is being activated by the event of me pressing the right arrow, and obviously the script follows after. Now let's press the left arrow key. Oh, that's no good. He's rolled around. I've got a floating bear floating on his back. That's not a very good thing, is it? Right, so the problem here is that we've not changed a setting in Justin, in his setup. We've changed his size. We've not changed an aspect of his direction. Currently, he's set to rotate when we turn all around. We need to set him to this one, left, right. So now, when I use my right arrow key, he faces right. Now when I press the left arrow key, he faces left, because he's not rotating, he's just flipping horizontally. If you change this to no rotation at all, what you end up with is he just goes backwards and forwards. So depending on what you want your character in your game to do, it's important to get that direction setting. There are 3 different directions to choose from. I prefer facing him the direction he goes. So far, Justin is a floating, weird sort of spiritual bear. Maybe he's my spirit animal, I don't know. But he's floating around anyway, isn't he, on the screen? Doesn't really seem to be going anywhere. Let's make him a little bit more realistic. Now, you may remember in the first video for this week that I showed you costumes on a sprite. And when you create a new sprite and you choose one from the menu of sprites that Scratch already provides you with, some of them have loads of costumes. So Justin's actually animated and he can change costumes. He's got all of these different ones. He's got Bear Walk, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. So there's quite a few there. Let's go back to his script, the code here. So to access his code, and we're going to go for something called looks. All right. Now you've got a whole bunch of blocks about costumes, right? And we've also got backdrops here for the backdrop on your stage, but this stuff to do with costumes. We don't want to switch to just one costume because it will always just change to that costume. That's useful in some aspects of gaming, but what we want to do is we want to just set next costume, because what it will do is it will rotate through all of the costumes repetitively as he's moving. Right, and I'll just put the costumes on so you can see. So that's the code there. Soon as right arrow key pressed, next costume. As soon as left arrow key is pressed, next costume. So he'll rotate through now, and you can see that happening. And Justin's walking. Yay, he's walking. We can also speed him up a little bit. So if I change it from 10 steps to 5 steps, it takes longer to complete that many steps, and it also will animate quicker. I know it's not longer, so it takes longer to complete that many steps. So he's sort of trawling around, he's walking slowly. I can change the amount of steps he walks to 20. Remember to press enter each time you're happy with the setting. And now Justin runs. He wants his honey. He wants to catch some salmon in the river. He's a hungry bear. And what do hungry bears do when they're hungry? They roar. So let's make him roar. We're going to use the space key event. And we're going to go to looks. And we're going to roar. So let's roar. Okay. So when he's hungry, he roars. Roar. Let's go one step further with this, and let's actually make him roar. Let's give him a sound effect. So I'm going to record a sound, right, with my microphone. And I'm going to go, oh yeah, I need permission. Okay, allow. Roar. Let's crop that. And save. Roar. Right, that's awful. But I'm going to delete this other sound. Let's go back to his code. And when the space key is pressed, we're going to go for... Oh, this has scrolled over a little bit. Let's just change this quickly. We're going to go for sound, play sound, start play sound, recording 1 till done. Roar. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to change that. Roar. I'm going to make another event so it happens simultaneously. So we're going to do another event starting with space key, and I'm going to go for looks, and I'm going to say roar. So when I press space key now, roar. I'm just having a bit of fun with this, folks. Roar. Roar. To record on your Chromebooks, you might need to take your headphones out to do it, but please don't play it really loudly in the room as you're doing this. Okay, so that's a little bit of the basics on how to animate, how to control, and how to add a sound effect and a speech bubble to a character in Scratch. So enjoy, have a little bit of fun experimenting with that now. I'm going to set you an activity in the lesson which will involve you taking these skills a little bit further.